Today, we're going to talk about why your blood sugar and your ketones are hot, stinking mess and how to fix them. Because if you can't get your blood values to regulate, you can't get into ketosis, and all of the autophagy and all of the energy and the anti-aging ain't going to work. So let's get into it. Welcome everyone to my very humble life. Now let's get into this blood sugar and ketones while doing carnivore, keto, and low carb, high fat. How to interpret the numbers, like what the frack is going on. All right, I've coached a lot of people with glucometers. So if you don't have one, get one. The continuous glucose monitors are not as accurate as the finger prick glucometers. You can get a Keto Mojo, there's the Floor, there's Precision Extra, there's a bunch. But the most commonly used is Mojo. Now, these glucometers can test blood glucose and blood ketones. It's good to test your blood values for at least 4 weeks, especially if you're new to this whole low carb, carnivore, keto, whatever. Okay. Your blood sugar should be between a 75 and an 83 milligrams per deciliter. And if you are measuring in millimoles, it should be between a 4.2 and a 4.6. When your blood sugar is too low, you're hypoglycemic. When your blood sugar is too high, you're hyperglycemic. And when your ketones are too low, you're just struggling to make the ketones. You could have a gallbladder issue, leaky gut. And when your ketones are too high, you got leaky gut, and you're not absorbing the fat. Yeah, and you're not in ketosis. And those two numbers, glucose and ketones, they have to match. They have to work together, like teeter-totter together, because if they're not working together, I don't care how many ketones you make. If your blood sugar is too high, you're not going to be in ketosis. If your blood sugar is between a 1.8 and a 3.0, ketones, 1.8, 3.0, and your glucose is 95, you're not in ketosis. You're not. So work on your blood sugar. It's very, very important. How? Well, a lot of you guys have your blood sugar too high or too low because you don't sleep well. You think you sleep well, but you don't, because there's 5 levels of sleep. You have to go deep into sleep. You can't just be unconscious. You have to be deeply unconscious. Yes, you have to be out. You have to be in deep sleep or REM. Get to REM cycles. 5 levels. Most people don't sleep deep, even if you sleep all night long. You've got Wi-Fi and cell phones in your head, near your head. You've got your routers on. You've got noise, light noise, toxicity, blood sugar dysregulation, histamine responses, stress, working out late, working late, taking your kids to sports late. All of these things can spike your blood sugar. And even though you make the ketones, blood sugar too high, you're not going to use those ketones. You can make them and then pee them out. What makes you really, really not get into ketosis as well with the blood values, with your glucose, is eating too much protein. Too much protein spikes your blood sugar. And people are starting to figure out that now. Years ago, when people put one of my videos up on Reddit, they were like, oh, she's full of shite. And I'm saying the same thing now as I did freaking 10, 15 years ago. Too much protein spikes your blood sugar. Too little ketones makes your ketones shitey. Now, the person I had a consultation with today, she had perfect numbers. but her blood pressure was high. And she drank coffee. I was like, I don't. And she had leaky gut, histamine symptoms. I said, I don't think you're in ketosis. In fact, I think you're borderline thyroid. Your energy's low. You can't lose the weight. But you make good ketones. And you don't use them. You can pee them out. Prick your blood, ketones in the blood, and then you pee them out. It is a balancing act. The stress is real. Getting your stress down. Eating organ meats. Exercising, but not too hard. You exercise too hard, spikes your blood sugar. Test your blood sugar 20 minutes after workout. If you train really hard, you'll see your blood sugar skyrockets. Too much protein. Fasting. Stop fasting. You don't need to fast to lose weight, and you don't need to fast to experience autophagy, or rather, cellular cleanup. You have to eat high quality foods. People who don't, you can see they have histamine responses and they have blood sugar swings when you're eating Costco meat. I know. For those who live outside of the US, Costco. The quality of your food matters. It really does. And if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Low carb, high fat blood sugar, that can be in the 90s. That can be in the 90s. When you get over 100, not good. This is fasted. You can test your blood sugar 2 hours after a meal. You can test your blood sugar for histamine, which is before you eat something and 2 hours later. You can test your blood sugar if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're stressed out. But like, people don't sleep well because they have all this blue light in their eyes. They skip meals. They don't eat enough fat. They always eat too much protein. If you guys, the people who struggle, just listen to my videos, it's all the same. I might add a little bit more to it, but it's pretty much the same. Yeah. For me, I'm taking things to the next level. I want everything in my house to be real materials. I don't want plastic and vinyl. I'm going to phase out all of my workout clothes that have nylon in them. I don't want the plastic. I don't. Getting vitamin D. I still have a tan from the summer, but vitamin D is everything when it comes to making ketones because it balances your hormones. I know. Basically keeping your stress down. Vitamin D, grounding, breathing properly. You guys don't breathe properly. You roll your shoulders forward and pronate them and sit with this type of spine. Don't drink enough water. You have to balance your electrolytes. I'll have consultations with people and I'm just sipping water through the whole thing like I got right here. Not one sip of water. And I'm like, okay, y'all, you become dehydrated very easily on these diets. In fact, you develop low blood pressure. That's a huge symptom on a ketogenic carnivore diet. Less on a carb diet like low carb, because carbs make you hold on to water. The very best ways to stabilize that blood sugar, make ketones: eat fat, eat animal fat, and keep your protein moderate to low. And then eat every 3 hours and go to bed early. And I'm telling you, you'll see a difference if your gallbladder works. If your gallbladder works, you are... If your histamine isn't bazonkers, you are good to go. Then you'll notice that your blood values will normalize. Your blood sugar will start to normalize if you go to bed early and you chew your food slowly and you eat every couple of hours. Keep your protein moderate and your fat high. It's not hard to get into ketosis, but it's hard to get into ketosis with people who just have under-eating, or they'll binge, they'll eat too much protein, they'll take a gazab of supplements and pharmaceuticals like thyroid medications, blood pressure medications. Supplements can make your blood sugar spike. I know. Balance your electrolytes. People are drinking too much water. not enough potassium, too much salt. Those things make your blood sugar go like this. And if your blood sugar goes like this, your ketones are not viable, or you don't make enough of them. Classically, when I see people with ketones under 1, they don't eat enough fat. This isn't hard. It's only hard for the people that are not willing to change. Change is good. Humans are constantly in nature, if we were hunter-gatherers, being exposed to new things. So make things new. Regulate your stress, diaphragmatic breathe, exercise. You must exercise. Our bodies are designed to be constantly moving. So sitting in front of a desk saying, I hate exercise, means you can't get better. You have to really move the lymph fluid around your body and drain the lymph nodes and pee out the stagnation. And I can go so far as to talk about parasites, but if you can get that gut microbiome in check and get your stress down, you can regulate those parasites even better. But when your immune system is low and you got big holes in your gut wall, your blood sugar's just going to bounce. And you're not going to get in ketosis. You're not going to lose the weight. You're not going to fix your fibromyalgia and your poor sleep and joint pain and your histamine intolerance. Because the gut is not going to heal when your blood sugar is bouncing like a ball and your ketones suck. It's not. That's why I always say that it can take from 3 months to a year to fix the gut, because people keep the coffee in, they drink the tea, or they're drinking the decaf, or they're not drinking enough water, or they're using soda water instead of water. It's all the stuff I say in videos. I hope this helps. Now I gotta edit this and I'm out. Peace. Oh yeah, my Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. I do have a course where I cover all 3 diets and actually write out these things, these lessons about estrogen dominance, leaky gut, histamine intolerance, mast cell activation, and how, like, some of these staunch carnivore people over time develop histamine intolerance, even to the meat that they eat. But that's a whole nother video with, like, Michaela Peterson. Why is she doing so great? She's not. They're not. They just omit some of the difficulties, cherry picking the information, and it just looks like they're doing great, but they ain't. They are not. Yeah, but I always say that. That's not anything new. My website is stephanieperson.com if you need a consultation, if you need help, if you're struggling with your macros, you're struggling with your blood sugar, you're struggling with the ketone production, you're struggling with your hormones and your thyroid and your energy levels and how to get off coffee and how to get your fat in and what types of fats and how much protein. I know, it's a whole thing, and I'm out.